Hello, everyone, and welcome once again. I am JT, and JT is the master. Let me put it. Let me do this. Let me do this really quick. Hold on. Exit full screen. All right, people. Show. What? What the heck happened? My background show. All right, people. Forget it. Don't worry about it. I did JT, aka the Master. JT presents the master plan. We got a few things they want to talk about, and we'll go from there. How come I can't share this? Oh, great, great, great. Share screen. There it is. Share screen. These two monitors. Okay. Let's do this. Today, I want to be able to. Sorry, I want to be able to talk to you about a few things that have to do with fantasy, quite naturally, and I want to talk about quarterbacks. First round. I talked about first quarterbacks that have been taken in the first round. First pick. And what I want to talk about, let me just get this up on the screen and then we can talk about it, is here it is. Here it is. That what I want to talk about. Now, I've had multiple things here that I want to talk about. And I want to share a screen with you. Share screen. What screen share? Okay. As you can see on this, I know it's not hard to see. This is the last 10 years. The last 10 years of quarterbacks that have been taken. Okay? Quarterbacks that have been taken in the last 10 years with the number one pick. Starting off with E.J. Manuel. If I'm not mistaken, E.J. Manuel was taken by the Buffalo Bills in 2013. Where is E.J. Manuel now? And in 2014, it was Blake Bortles, number one pick. You believe that? Where is Blake Bortles now? At 2015, it was a choice between Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston. And guess who was the number one quarterback taken? It was Jameis Winston. Okay? Let me just move this over a little bit, and then you get a better perspective. The first quarterback taken in each draft in the last 10 years. Then we go to 2016. Jared Goff. We know where Jared Goff is, and he won a Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Rams. And then he went over to the Detroit Lions in a trade for Matthew Stafford. And now he has, in more ways than one, has revitalized that Detroit offense. And it's one of the sought-after offenses, in my opinion, for 2023. All right? And then we go to Mitchell Trubisky. Yes, Mitchell Trubisky. Where's Mitchell Trubisky now? Isn't he a backup for Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken? And didn't pan out. Did not pan out. How about Baker Mayfield in 2016? I know people say I'm a hater. Certain people say I'm a 2018. It's not certain people say I'm a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm just seeing what I see. And I said Baker Mayfield wasn't all that when he first came in. He had one good year and maybe a few games throughout his Cleveland career, and including the Rams, sprinkled in. No consistent play. No consistent play. That's 2018. And 2019, it was another Oklahoma quarterback taken first, Kyler Murray. Come on, man. There's been a lot of talk about Kyler Murray swirling around. In and out of the league. Okay? And then 2020, 21, and brought two quarterbacks into the league in Joe Burrow in 20, and Trevor Lawrence in 21, who looked like they had panned out. Looked like, first, Joe Burrow getting hurt in his first year. Okay, that happens. Quarterbacks get hurt. That happens. He had a horrible offensive line. And then Trevor Lawrence, he had a horrible coach, horrible head coach. But when he got a capable coach that knows how to coach a quarterback in Doug Peterson, he panned out. Okay. So those were hits. Those were positive hits. Maybe second, both in the second year. Both were positive hits in their second year. Positive hits in their second year. In fact, Joe Burrow, second year, healthy, took him to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow, healthy, took him to the AFC Championship in the past year. So you know Joe Burrow, and he's going to get paid because it's his third year. He's going to get paid. No two ways about it. He's got to. Cincinnati can't afford to lose him. And Trevor Lawrence is up and coming. First year with Doug Peterson. Look at the market improvement in Trevor Lawrence. When you have somebody that knows how to coach the quarterback position and put the quarterback in better positions to succeed. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You have 10 quarterbacks drafted first in the round. And not even half of them, a third of them. A third of them. A third. Exactly. Not even a third, because he got Kenny Pickett. And he showed glimpses, but this is his second year. Is he going to how much is he how much is he going to improve? How much is he going to improve? You have to wait and see. Have to wait and see. It's a wait and see on that. He had a so-so year this past year because Mitchell Trubisky started the season and he wasn't all that. And he was the first quarterback taken in 2017. So you had a bad running list of E.J. Manuel, Blake Bortles from 2013 in this order. E.J. Manuel, Blake Bortles, Jameis Winston, Jared Goff. Now, Jared Goff wasn't that bad. He did win a Super Bowl, and he's doing pretty well. But he's not at the level of the top three, the last three, the last two of the three that were drafted in the last few years. Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow. Jared Goff is acceptable. They thought he was a throw-in with the Matthew Stafford trade, but Jared Goff proved to be a serviceable quarterback. If I had a choice of first round picks, other than Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow, and maybe even Kyler Murray on a borderline, I would take Jared Goff out of the last 10 that were drafted. I would take Jared Goff. Absolutely. He won a Super Bowl. None of these quarterbacks, except Jared Goff, has won a Super Bowl. None of them. And other than the two I'm talking about, Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow, have taken players in multiple games into the playoffs. That's what I'm talking about. That the most important position in all of football is the quarterback. And Lamar Jackson was taken 32 in a draft that he was involved in. 32. Been to the playoffs, has a better record than most of these quarterbacks in win-loss, and he's not getting paid. He's not getting paid. The most important position on a football team is the quarterback. He handles the ball every snap. Unless he gets hurt, he's in the game on the offensive side every snap, and he handles the ball more than anybody. Controls what the offense does or doesn't do. And if you look over here, you got Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, and a bunch of no-names, in my opinion. Kyler Murray, I'm not a fan of Kyler Murray. Some people say I'm biased. I'm not biased. I see what I see. He plays hero ball. Okay? Short in stature. Got a problem with that. Maybe he has a Napoleon complex. I don't know. For those who don't know what a Napoleon complex is, Napoleon, the French dictator, was a very short man. But he had an attitude because he was short. Some people do, some people don't. I'm short. I'm proud of it. I could care less. Okay? I'm walking on this earth, whether I'm tall at 6 feet, 6'4", 6'5", or 5'7", which I am. I could care less. God made me this way. And I'm appreciative of it. Plain and simple. Appreciative of it. Why shouldn't you be? Okay? Why should you not be? Okay? Anyway. I'm talking about these players. These quarterbacks. Then it looks like there's going to be at least 2 quarterbacks taken in the first 2 picks. Maybe quarterback needy teams are going more than likely. I'm saying there's going to be 4 quarterbacks taken in the first round. 4. Where? I'm saying I would say 1 or 2 of those are going to be a surprise. Let me put it that way. More likely going to be a surprise. Now a lot of people come to the consensus that C.J. Stroud from Ohio State and Bryce Young from Alabama are going to be get taken 1, 2, more than likely. Where does Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, uh, Hendon, Hendon Tanner wind up? Where do they wind up? One of them be the oldest of the all the four quarterbacks, which is the quarterback from Tennessee. Where do they wind up? Are they going to be in a friendly situation for a quarterback? Quarterback needy teams are more than likely to be losing teams that have to have more than one piece, but the quarterback is the most important piece. Have to have more than one piece on their offense, on their team, meaning that the quarterback is the foundation, and then you need to get a offensive line, which is part of that foundation, and offensive pieces other than the offensive line and quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and maybe even the tight end. This is a good year for the tight ends, and that's how it usually goes. And the quarterback is going to take his bumps and bruises unless they have a bridge quarterback, somebody like a Teddy Bridgewater, or a Jimmy Garoppolo, or, and I'm not saying that the quarterbacks coming into this league are going to those teams. I'm just giving you an example of bridge quarterbacks that can mentor a young quarterback and maybe start until the team feels that the rookie quarterback, well, maybe not even a rookie quarterback, second-year quarterback, just like they did with Patrick Mahomes, bring him out in the second year or late in the first year. That's what I'm talking about. But it's going to be a process. And I know people have heard that before, but this is going to be a process that, okay, that's the type of process that you're talking about. One that the quarterback's going to take his lumps, or the bridge quarterback is going to take his lumps and teach the young rookie what to do, how to do it, and when to do it in its first year. And he sits and watches. Look how good Patrick Mahomes is. I'm just throwing that out there. I know Patrick Mahomes is probably an exception to the rule, but you let the young quarterback sit. Yeah, if he needs to hone his talents, let him sit. You know, your team is not in a position anyway to make a run at anything. So you just try to gather the pieces, a la Detroit. You try to, even though Detroit doesn't have a rookie quarterback, but Detroit over the past few years has garnered first round picks, high first round picks, and they've got a very good, out of those down years, they've gotten a very good offensive line, very good offensive pieces in the running back now, and the wide receivers, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I'm telling you, people, I'm telling you right now, and this is what, April 2nd? I'm telling you right now. On your fantasy teams, you want a piece of Detroit. You want a piece of Detroit, whether it's the quarterback, the wide receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, David Montgomery. You want a piece of Detroit on your fantasy team. You want a piece of Detroit. I told you last year you wanted a piece of the Chargers. I'm telling you this year you want a piece of the Detroit Lions. I know. Come on, man. You're going to say, what? Detroit? I'm telling you. They're coming. High draft picks that have panned out. Some high draft picks haven't panned out. But the ones Detroit, for the most part, have had high draft picks. have panned out over the years, and now they're paying off. The combination of all those high quality players, they're paying off, and you want a piece of that. You want a piece of that to improve your fantasy teams and have a strong team to help get you into the playoffs and be lucky enough or fortunate enough to win a championship. Okay? To win a championship. You want that opportunity. And you'll have the opportunity come August, late August, early September, whatever your draft is, to make that happen. You want a piece of Detroit. Okay. And then you get, like I said, these guys over here, only a third of them, in my opinion, have panned out. A third of them. All right. A third of them. I can't even, to tell you the truth, I can't say Kyler Murray is part of that third. Okay. I can't. He didn't play that well last year, and the prior year to that, he played well early part of the year, and then he fizzled out, and then he was fizzling out last season. Excuse me. So I can't say Kyler Murray is a quarterback that you want. Plus the fact is he got hurt late in the season. His coach got fired. He's going into a new offense, and he's not going to be able to to be active or play till maybe mid-season, which puts him way behind. So I'm saying a third out of these 10 since 2013 picking, and teams pick them. Teams pick them. They pick them. Really? You're going to do that? Really? Okay. I'm saying another position is more reliable, even though they refuse to pick him in the first round. Highly unlikely they're picked in the first round. Highly unlikely that they're picked in the first round. And like I said, I was going to show you. We went over this half hour, about a half hour, talking about these first quarterbacks taking each draft. And what I'm going to show you, excuse me, going into the second half of this show is running backs. Running backs. And see if you recognize these names and how well they have done. Some of them taken in the first round, some of them not. Okay? Some of them taken in the first round, some of them not. Now let me set this up. Okay? And I'll do this. When I bring it back, I'll do this and we'll show you about the running backs. And see what you think of what I'm talking about. If it makes any sense to you. Okay? Running back tech in first round. Here we go. No, running backs, the first running back taken, not in the first round, not necessarily in the first round, but taken in the first running backs taken. Let me put it that way. And here we go. Okay. Now you probably can't see him, but I'm gonna go down. I'm sorry. I apologize. I wanted to bring you this. Since 2013, the first quarterback taken in the draft. This is the first quarterback taken, not necessarily taken in the first round, but some were. But taken as the first running back in the draft. 2013, if you can't see it, it's Giovanni Bernard. 2014 was Bishop Sankey. Who? Bishop Sankey. If I'm not mistaken, Bishop Sankey was taken by the Tennessee Titans. Then we have Todd Gurley. We all know about Todd Gurley, Pro Bowl running back. He fizzled as quick as he came on the scene. He came out, but I wouldn't say he was a bust because he was a great fantasy asset to a lot of teams, including me. Ezekiel Elliott, he's still playing in 2016. Okay? Great running back. I mean, after a while, the tread on the tires gets long or worn down, and he's not the same running back he was when he came out in 2016, 17, 18, okay, 19. That was a different story. Now it's 7 years after the fact, and it's a different story. You got Leonard Fournette. Okay, Leonard Fournette was not necessarily a bust. He went to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville Jaguars traded him to Tampa Bay, and he won the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Okay, Saquon Barkley. Mixed career, but when he's healthy, he's a Pro Bowl type of running back. Okay, we all know who Saquon Barkley is. Giant fans definitely know who Saquon Barkley is. Josh Jacobs, playing for a contract, is playing his butt off, and we know Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs probably helped some fantasy owners win their fantasy championship. Okay. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I didn't like Clyde Edwards-Helaire when he came out. I told you that. And he hasn't really panned out. Najee Harris. Najee Harris is a very good running back. It's gotten better with more years under his belt. And then we got Breece Hall, who got hurt. Was balling out until he got hurt. So out of these, and I'm going to count them up, the 10 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4. But you know what? I can't count Breece Hall because if you get hurt, you're a bust to me. If you get hurt, you start off just like Derrick Henry started off a few years ago after his 2,000-year season. I had said he was going to get hurt in the 8th game, and he got hurt in the 8th game. And even though he was balling out up until the 8th game, he was a bust because people who drafted Derrick Henry drafted him high in the first round, expecting maybe not 2,000 yards, maybe 1,800 yards. I said he wasn't even going to do that, and he got hurt. So even though he was balling out early in the season that he got hurt in, to me it was a bust because okay, you balled out half the season, but the fantasy season is not 8 games, it's 13 games, 14 games. So for the next 5-6 games when you need him the most, Derrick Henry wasn't there. So that I consider that to be a bust. No, I consider Breece Hall to be a bust. I don't consider Najee Harris. I do consider Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So out of this, let me see. Let's count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Half of these running backs taken first in the draft, not taken first first in the first round. The first running back taken in each draft. That's what I'm talking about. Have panned out more in fantasy. And okay, this is where I'm tying it in fantasy than the quarterbacks taken. These running backs have been more consistent, maybe not gathering as more points in fantasy, but quarterbacks usually gather more points than running backs. But what I'm saying is this: you'll get more consistent play or in the last 10 years, and that's a good barometer. 10 years of quarterbacks first taken, 10 years of first running backs taken, and you get more quality out of the running back position, 50%, which is not really 50% is not a really good ratio, but it's better than 30 or 20%. A lot better. Lot better. So for the most part, quarterback taken in the first round, the percentage is 20, 30% compared to the first running back taken in each draft over the last 10 years. Pans out 50%. And if you really want to stretch it, you could go probably 60%, but it's at least 50%. At least 50%. Now, no one can dispute that because I'm looking at, I showed you what the quarterbacks were taken in the last 10 drafts. I showed you the first running backs taken in each draft. The first running backs. Okay, that's equivalent of the quarterback taken in the first round. The first quarterback taken in the first round. In my opinion, that's equivalent. And I would rather have a running back, the first running back taken, and there's plenty of evidence that other than the first running back taken, other than the first, the other than second, third, or fourth, or whatever quarterback taken, I bet you the running backs, and I haven't looked at it, and I should be able to show you that, but right at this point I don't. That the running back position is likely to pan out more than the quarterbacks. More than the quarterbacks. I would rather have the first running back taken in each draft than the first quarterback taken in the first round. The bust factor is higher. The bust factor is higher. Just understand that. The bust factor is higher. And we'll have to wait and see how this draft class. I like this draft class of running backs. I still think the one quarterback I like, which is Anthony Richardson, has a better chance of succeeding and doing more with his career than C.J. Stroud, and Bryce Young. I do believe that because he has more to offer, in my opinion, than those two quarterbacks. I know C.J. Stroud is an accurate quarterback, but he's going to a team that needs a quarterback. So that team needs a quarterback. The reason why they're drafting, because they are not a good team or haven't been a good team. Maybe with a halfway decent defense, but I mean, they've given whoever is going to be the quarterback in the Carolina Panthers offensive weapons, but second and third tier players in offense. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. To a young quarterback, a first-year quarterback. And he's probably going to be asked to be the savior of the franchise. There's very few quarterbacks that can be thrown into the fire as rookies and really succeed, really show that they're mature beyond their years in the quarterback position. Very few. Trevor Lawrence struggled. Mitchell Trubisky last year struggled. I don't know what to tell you. So that means C.J. Stroud, big name. Bryce Young, big name. Big name. Now Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, or Tanner Hendon. Hendon Tanner, whatever his name is. I'm sorry. They're going to be looked at. I'm gonna go through some players. Not right now, because I'm about to end this show in about less than 5 minutes. I'm going to go through next week. I'm going to go through some rookie running backs. That's what I do. Rookie running backs that I think are going to be outstanding players. I don't know if I've done that already. I think I'm going to do it again. I've narrowed the list down to maybe five players, maybe 6 players, a half a dozen players, or something like that. I think I've talked about them going into the draft, but this is post draft. Post draft. And I want you to get to some sleepers, some guys that people don't know about, but I think they're going to be surprises, so-called surprises in this league that are going to have be known throughout this league in fantasy, especially in fantasy. That's what we're talking about. Changes are coming to the program. They'll be announced within a week, 2 weeks. Nice changes, people. Been a long time coming, and I think it's time for it to happen. Long time coming. I think it's time for it to happen. So changes are going to be coming. Just like every other team makes changes. I haven't made any changes in over 10 years. I think I'm due. I think it's due. It's due. So, people, next week, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, will be the master plan. Jerry Taylor presents the master plan on YouTube. And I'm going to be going through, like I said, running backs. I love running backs. I know you get to hear it ad nauseum. But for the most part, every draft, people are looking for running backs in the first round. Not everyone, but a lot of people. Because they're, in my opinion, they're the foundation of the offense. They're the foundation. And most fantasy teams have at least 2 running backs on their team. You only get 1 quarterback, okay? 2 running backs. Along with 2 wide receivers, maybe 3. All depends on what you do with the flex position, whatever. So that's why I like talking about running backs. Foundation of any fantasy team is their running backs. Why you think people covet and talk about running backs so much? That's why. That's why. Okay? So next week on the master plan, we're going to be talking about rookie running backs. Now, and like I said, and I know I'm saying this ad nauseum, but like I said, it all depends on where they land. Okay? We'll know where they're going to be come the end of this month when the NFL draft takes place in Kansas City. We'll know where they'll be. We know that. And I'm looking forward to that. For the simple fact is, are they going to be viable? Is B.J. Robinson going to an offense that's going to showcase what he can do? I know everyone's talking about him. I got some other ones that may outshine him. But it makes a difference. It makes a difference where they go. Are they running back friendly team, quarterback friendly team? These key positions. It makes a difference what type of environment they're in within their team. They may have a big name. If they go to a team that doesn't value the running back position or doesn't know how to effectively quarterback or coach the quarterback position to get the maximum out of the quarterback talents, That's going to hurt C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis, to name a few. Okay? That's absolutely going to make a difference with how they're drafted, or not how they're drafted, but where they're drafted to. If it's a friendly environment for that position, or are they going to struggle just like the rest of the team because of the coaching? I've always said, pay attention to the head coach and offensive coordinator. Key to fantasy players, present and future fantasy players. Key. All right, people. I'm going to be exiting the program and hope you come back and listen to my program on next week. Okay? I appreciate you listening or listening in the archives or listening after the fact. Like I said, tune in next week where I'll be here 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Master Plan. Jerry Taylor presents the Master Plan. And 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on a Saturday afternoon where Mr. FSP and I will be kicking it again on the fantasy sports and politics. With that being said, enjoy the rest of your week. And a week from today, which is be the 9th, I'll be back. See ya.